Hey everyone, welcome to the Hire My VA Team and Business Building Podcast, where we help you to reclaim your freedom through hiring and thriving with virtual assistants without breaking the bank, without breaking your bank. I'm Dave Braun. I'm here with my partner, my great friend, Larry Broughton.
The crowd goes wild. Hello, David.
Yeah, I hear them all. I
Yes,
couldn't hear you.
I hear the one.
There was so much applause. I couldn't hear you. I'm
David,
doing
I love
well.
you. Thank you for being in my life.
Yeah, you do, my friend. All right, you ready for the next question?
Bring it on.
All right, another fantastic question for our podcast. So
I'll be the judge of that.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right, judge and jury.
Yes, that's right.
All right, question. Is there a way to determine what stuff or what tasks you need to do and need to stop doing? Where should I start to know all of these tasks that I'm doing in general? I mean, it's like, how do they wade through all of the stuff that they're doing? How do they know what to give up, what to start and stop doing, or to keep doing, actually?
This is probably, David, one of the most frequently asked questions that we get, because entrepreneurs, business owners, leaders, high achievers, we tend to do so much. We know we need help.
Yeah.
We hear about these mystical, magical unicorns that some people call virtual assistants and say, I want one of those or two of those, or like one of our clients' cases, 4 of those within a very short period of time. But I don't know what to even hand over to them. Dave, I think the direction we're probably going to go on this is our 3-column exercise that we started out with. It's a tool that I developed years ago. And it's one of those tools that's just kind of tried and tested, right? And so we have what we call a 3-column exercise. And imagine you take a piece of paper, turn it landscape. In fact, this part of this tool is in our resource section here, right? And you take a piece of paper, turn it on its side so that it's landscape, I guess you'd call it. There you go. And in the far, that's right. So in the far left column at the top, you're going to write doing. All right. And you're going to list everything that you do right now. I mean, everything that you do. And it's probably going to be a very long list. Everything from maybe you are closing out the cash register. Maybe you're running your credit card batch. Maybe you're doing inventory. Maybe you're doing social media posts. Whatever it is, everything that you do, you put it on there. And I also put personal stuff on there as well. Yeah. Grocery shopping, right? All of it. The next column, you're going to put great at. All right. So the middle column, you can put great at. And these are things that you're currently doing that you're great at. So all you're going to do is you can either rewrite it, or you can just draw a line from the far, did I say right column before? Far left column. So far left column is doing, center column is great at, okay? And now there may be things that you're great at that you're not doing though. You can add those to this column, okay? That column is going to be shorter than the doing for most people, right? And then finally in the far right column is going to be love it. Okay. Yeah. And so now you're going to move everything that's in the great column over to the love it, because the goal here is to move you from doing maybe 3 to 7% of things that you're great at and that you love on a weekly basis. We'd love to get that up to over 25%. Sure. Imagine, if you're doing, we do have some folks that are some clients of ours in our mentoring program, the Victory Mentoring Program, who claim that they're spending over 65% of their time only doing things that they're great at and that they love. Imagine that, right? Now, there may be things that you are great at that you don't love. Like right now, like I tend to be great at looking at a financial statement and immediately picking out, oh, there's an error there. I'm great at it. I don't love it though. Yeah. Right. And so that would stay there. And so ultimately anything that's in the doing column, you're going to delete, delegate, defer. Those are the 3 basic things. But there's the, what do you call it, Dave? We just did a thing. I have a brain freeze on it. Data. Yeah. So why don't you pick up from here? So anything that you're not great at or loving are candidates to move over to a VA.
Right.
And we can get into how do you categorize that in a second. But why don't you take over? I've got to get a little sippy sip here of my delicious
No
iced tea.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, we talk about in our training, and we've done this for years, and people really love it.
Mm-hmm.
A system where you can take some of the tasks through that Larry talked about you writing down through a system we call DADDA, DADDA. And the first one is delete, right? Because you don't want to give to a VA, for example, or a virtual assistant or anybody else things that they shouldn't be doing. So just delete the stuff off your plate. Larry talked about that, right? Delete.
But Dave, here's one of the things. There are some things that we've realized that people do only because they've always done them.
Yeah, that's true.
There are some like you don't need to do that any longer because maybe it's already been automated. Maybe the software that you're using now does that for you. Well, but I've always done it that way. So this is not time to actually analyze, like, does it need to be done? There will be some things that you can just delete, like, I never have to do that again. Okay, keep going, Dave. Sorry.
So that's delete. Then the next thing would be automate, right?
Yeah,
so it's whatever you think that needs to still be done, but you want to have a tool to automate, because generally having an automation tool do it, or at least as much of it as you can, is going to be cheaper than having anybody else do it, especially you.
Like invoicing, for instance.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great? Setting calendar invites.
Yep. So that's delete, automate, and the next is delegate, which what we talked about. Then anything that falls through that goes to be delegated to somebody else. All right. So it's delete, automate, delegate, and then
Defer.
DADDA, delete, automate, delegate, and the last D is defer.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like it doesn't have to be done right now.
Yeah. So that's the question that you want to ask yourself is, I need to do it, but doesn't need to be done now. Maybe it can be done next week or the week after. Right. So it doesn't have to be done at the moment, because one of the reasons you want to potentially defer it is if you defer it to, a few days or a week from now, you might find out that it doesn't need to be done or need to be done in the same way, or things change, life changes, information changes, right? So you want to defer what you can. And then the last A, so we have delete, automate, delegate, defer, and then the last A is attention. What do you really want to do yourself? What do you, and hopefully only you, have to put your attention towards?
Yeah. That defer one's a big one, right? I remember a few months ago, you and I were supposed to go to a meeting. You called and said, I can't go. And I called you and said, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, I said, no, you need to go. And you gave me all these reasons on why you can't. And what we did, we said, why can't we just defer that? This doesn't have to be done right now. Yes, you want it to be done right now, but it doesn't have to be done this way right now. And sometimes when we just give ourselves permission to put that off to the next quarter, it's like the weight just falls off your shoulders, and then you become much more creative, right? So don't be afraid. This is an opportunity to get clarity and freedom. I keep going back. This program is about gaining you freedom, right?
Yeah.
Get you freedom in your life.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Now, one of the things we've kind of taken you through the 3-column exercise and this DADDA acronym to help you figure out what you really, really need to concentrate your time on doing. And we have, another tool in there that talks about kind of, if we go back to the beginning, time tracking, tracking your time.
Right.
Because you may be doing something, and if it takes you 5 minutes a day, well, okay, that's okay right now. You don't have to get back every single set of 5 minutes that you're doing. It may add up over time, but right now when you're first starting it, you want to look at the bigger chunks. So what we recommend is we have a tool used to track your time for a week. What are you doing, like every 15 minutes or every half an hour? What is it that you're doing? You may find that you're doing stuff that is taking you a lot longer than you thought, or less time than you thought, but you've got to track. You got to track your time. And what I've found, Larry, is that just by doing that, I've become a lot more efficient with my time. But no, I was going to say, because what's measured is improved, right?
Yeah, that's right. You're more aware. You're just more aware of it, right? Yeah.
But still, you're still coming up with to the limit of your 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? That you still have a limit on your time. You can only get so efficient with your time. That means if you want to get more stuff done, be more significant in your life, make a bigger impact to the world, you've got to hire a team to help you.
You absolutely have to. You cannot get there by yourself. I use this analogy all the time, like in the military, you've got a swim buddy, even snipers have a spotter. Nobody does anything that is worth anything by themselves, right? And we've just seen this over and over again. People who are starting their businesses oftentimes view themselves as a hobbyist until they get that first team member. Do you remember I remember one in particular who she was so darn excited. We did like a little celebration on this video call. Remember, because she'd hired her first VA.
Yeah.
Right? And now look at her. She's got a bunch of team members, right?
Oh,
so yes, this is meant to actually multiply your efforts. This is more multiplication than addition.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, so I think these are two really good tips. Tracking your time, like what are you actually spending time on? And once you start specifically tracking, and I mean like you have got it on this grid or in this tool that we have, you are oftentimes will be surprised or shocked at how much time you're spending or wasting by doing things that aren't directly tied to your 12-week goals.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so when you get much more attention about how you're spending time, when you measure that and you start delegating things to your team members, to your VAs, and you start deferring some things that you're doing that don't need to be done right now. Oh my gosh, that gives you more freedom to focus on what you're really good at, that you enjoy doing. And you're going to find joy go up, productivity go up, and you're going to get closer to that, those goals of your organization. For a lot of it is like breaking that $1 million mark in my business, right? VAs are going to help you get there.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's pretty necessary. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right. Anything else, sir?
I think that's good.
All right. Yeah, that was fun. That was fun on that one.
Good.
All right. And remember, folks, we've got this great program, HireMyVA. Hopefully you know about it by now, where we talk more detail of all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we're there for you to help coach you and work through it. And we're continuing to learn ourselves and tweak ourselves because we are after, more and more productivity ourselves and with our teams, right? And we're learning together. But thank you guys for being on the call with us today on this program, listening in. And like we talked about, building a team is the way to reclaim your freedom. And it's really the only way to make a significant impact into the world.
Yes.
So we are here to help you, though. And if you can right now, we want you to do a couple things. Subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. And number 2 is give us a rating, 5-star. We'd love it. And then number 3, of course, go to HireMyVA.com for more information on our course and community. Because remember, even without experience, you'll learn how to prepare for, hire, and thrive with virtual assistants.
Yeah.
Larry and I have helped a lot of folks. We continue to do it. We're loving what's happening. But we want to help you too. We want to make a bigger impact with our lives on more and more folks. It's one of the reasons why we created this program. So go to HireMyVA.com for more information on our program and course and community.
That's right. Yes. And community, such an important element of
Yes.
this. So do yourself a favor, do the world a favor, go do something significant today. So God bless you, God keep you, God hold you. Now go get them.
Okay. Bye, folks.
Bye. I'll see you later.